So it's the end of October now. It's October 30th today. Tomorrow's Halloween. And many people must be thinking the same thing at this point. When's it gonna snow? So for some people it's already snowed. The first snow's already occurred, say for like across the northern Great Plains, northern Rockies. I believe last week or this weekend there was a snowstorm. Dumped around a foot of snow in some areas, maybe more in some areas. And also, I believe just yesterday, or maybe the day before that, there was a snowstorm in the Colorado area, eastern Colorado. Snowed quite a bit around Denver. Some areas got up to a foot, 14 inches. I saw a report of somewhere. And the first snowfall is incoming for some places up in the upper Midwest, down through the Great Lakes region. And that's what I wanted to discuss in this video. Along with that, there is the chance for some snow across the coastal Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. There's a small chance, but still there is a chance of that happening on Wednesday, the 1st of November. So let's get into it. All right, so starting it off with what happens today across the day. If you're pretty much anywhere like central Jersey northward in the Northeast, you might have noticed today was a very foggy, dreary day, cloudy. And that's because we had this frontal system along with low pressure moving through. So this is today early in the morning. You can see precipitation already moving into the region. And in the northern areas, this was snow, such as mainly Maine, I think, was the area where snow mostly. I think it was one of the first, at least, decent snowfall for them up there. And for basically the rest of the Northeast, it was just some like very dreary, rainy day. Besides maybe the mountains had some snow. It seems like some minor lake effect has started across from Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, lake effect precipitation of some sort. Look at that. We can see that off of Lake Ontario, there is some areas of snow. Looking at the RAP model sounding, we can see that it is sufficiently cold in some areas for it to be snowing. And this radar viewer is actually a very cool product I found on GitHub. Uh, Amelia Urquhart, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. She created this. I believe she's in the University of Oklahoma. It's a very nice radar viewer. I found it useful for determining precipitation types, and since there's an implemented algorithm for that. And you guys can check this out if you want. And I plan in the future to make hopefully a products of my own for radar viewing to help me kind of analyze the weather better. Yeah, so moving on from what happened today, looking at the snowfall, just to wrap it up, it seems like the highest report in Maine was 5 inches today, in the mountains of southwestern Maine. We got 3 inches around the Caribou area, central Maine around 3-4 inches too. So it seems like the first decent snowfall for them. So again, this was basically due to this frontal system that is now moving off the coast. Low pressure associated with it, the warm frontal precipitation in Maine. That snowfall produced over there. The rest of the Northeast is pretty much just rain. And look at this low over here. So this is going to be important over the next few days. This low pressure here is currently producing some snow across North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota. And it's bringing down with a huge cold blast from Canada. So if we look at that over here on the upper air map, 300 millibar wind map, uh, there's going to be a big dip, big trough that's going to form, and the cold air is just going to spill into the United States. It's going to be very, very cold around the central U.S. and the eastern U.S. for the next couple of days. So yeah, as I was saying, that low pressure is currently producing snow across Minnesota, which I think for most areas of Minnesota, that is the first significant snowfall of the season. However, some areas have snowed already. Last week, what that storm was talking about, the Central Plains and Northern Plains. Um, so the front moves out of the northeast, and then this low pressure starts to pivot south across the Great Lakes region. It seems like it's going to snow in Chicago, so definitely first snow for Chicago area. Seems like it could even snow in Pittsburgh on Tuesday night, Halloween night. So pretty spooky for them. And then if we see this very complex evolution here, so we got two low pressures down here, mainly just one area of low pressure, another low pressure developing just to the north of that, as this low pressure that was across the Great Lakes is pivoting south. Um, and then we see kind of consolidates into one sort of coastal low, where there's rain along the coast and snow in the interior northeast, and then moves out, and then we have some lake effect residual. So if those two low pressures that were forming to the south, they are from this invest right here, this area of low pressure. It is invest 96L. It at one point we thought that this may turn into a short-lived tropical storm, but don't really think that anymore. But the reason this is going to be significant is that it's kind of going to interfere with that low pressure that's going to start forming off the coast. It's going to go to the south and kind of absorb, or it's going to be absorbed. That's the big question over here. So look at the tracks of where it's going to head. It's generally going to head in the same direction offshore. But the question is, when that additional low pressure forms over here, what's going to happen? Is it going to get absorbed? Is it going to absorb that one? Is it going to change course? What's going to happen? So let's break that down, looking at what could possibly happen. So this is the European model, just for a broad scale overview. What's going to happen? This is right now. Again, actually not right now. This is 8 a.m. this morning. Again, just an overview of what happened today. Precipitation across the northeast, and then this is that low pressure pivoting down from the Midwest, as I was talking about, bringing that cold blast with it, and that's that tropical, I guess you would call it, low pressure. It's not really going to develop into anything. And watch over here. There starts to be some type of shortwave energy that forms out here. Probably some sort of transfer of energy from this low pressure to this low pressure. Classic example of how many Miller B nor'easters form. But this is not going to be really a nor'easter type pattern, because if we look at the upper winds, the winds are sort of, it's not really more, there's no really big trough until this system moves in. So there's no trough in place for the storm to ride up. The storm is gonna form around here. It does have that healthy jet streak in the right direction that we want, but it hasn't like formed over here, formed down here, or formed when the trough is already in place. The trough is kind of evolving as time goes on. You can see it's pivoting down southwards. So that's why this isn't really an organic nor'easter type pattern. That kind of is probably why it's a very complex forecast for us. So just to look with the vorticity, that's the main upper level low over here. And then that's going to kick off some energy over here off the coast, transfer energy at the surface. And then we got to see what's going to happen with that and how that's going to interact with the low pressure that was off the coast of Florida at this point, and it's going to move, which is going to move north, that I just talked about. So let's just look at a few model comparisons for Wednesday, 8 a.m. So this is the HRRR model, one of the most, probably one of the most advanced weather models today that is in operational use. So this has the low pressure far off the coast, and it has rain off the coast as well. It has some areas of snow associated with that upper level low, probably kicking off some energy. It has a bit of lake effect and some mountain snow or graphic lift, I expect. But the rain mainly seems to stay confined to the coastal areas of New Jersey, where it would be too warm, and the same with the Cape Cod. It would be too warm out there to have any snow. So if we look, there are some areas where there does seem to be potential for precipitation. But if we take a sounding, this model is saying the cold temperatures are only going to be confined to the northern areas. For example, this is a mountainous area of New Jersey that's just took a sounding for. It's saying 36 degrees and snow, which that would be snow because of those steep lapse rates in the lower few kilometers of the atmosphere. But if we come down to say central Somerset County, it's going to say it's too warm. It's going to say, oh, that's 39 actually. So that actually is not too warm. That it could snow. So really, if the HRRR is saying if there is some kind of showers across northern Jersey, those could be snow showers. But I would say central Jersey definitely too warm. Out in central Jersey for that, yeah, 42 degrees Fahrenheit. My baseline for snow is that if it's 40 degrees or lower, it could snow. But when you're in that upper area, it really depends on the lapse rates in the upper atmosphere and how the precipitation is originating. If we have those steep lapse rates from where the precipitation is originating, then it could be just some really big fat wet snowflakes. And then if there's just some kind of warm air intrusion in the northern areas and it's kind of warm throughout the lower few kilometers above freezing, then it's probably not going to be snow. It's probably going to be rain. So let's look at the ARW. The ARW is kind of an extreme outlier in this case, as per like it's saying snowfall. It's saying close to the shore, which has been seen in a couple of model runs, but it's saying the snow is much more widespread, so it's running much colder. You can see the 540 millibar height is all the way down off the coast, and compared to the HRRR, which also had it off the coast, but not as tight of a gradient as the ARW. The ARW actually has a tighter gradient setting up, and it has colder air seeping towards the surface and then producing snow, which I guess that's, if you like snow, that's the most optimistic forecast for you, but probably not going to play out. As per my thing right now, it should not be that widespread. The FB3 is taking the thing all the way off the coast, not even a sight of rain anywhere in the Northeast besides maybe Cape Cod and the Massachusetts coast and potentially Maine. The NSSL is also painting a similar picture. It's really just off the coast. The NAM model, however, is also it's not as high resolution, so we're just going to use it just as an example. But it's saying there's going to be more energy taken by that 500 millibar low pressure that's coming out of the Great Lakes. There's going to be more energy for that to kick off some precipitation. So again, that's another possibility. But the main low pressure is all the way off the coast. The NAM 3 kilometers is saying that the same thing, that there could be some energy residual from that 500 millibar that could kick it off. But I think that the dominant low pressure is going to be the coastal one, or the one that's off the coast. And really, it's just going to depend on how close that gets to the coast, how far away it is from the coast. That's going to determine the snowfall potential, or just even the rain potential. So we look at northern Jersey, NAM 3 kilometers, saying it's going to be cold enough for there to be some snow. Yeah, 36 degrees, that's going to be snow. And also another thing that I was noticing between the models, that there could be a potential sharp temperature gradient specifically between North Jersey and the rest of Jersey. I think it probably just has something to do with terrain and influence from the 500 millibar low pressure. So we look at Pennsylvania. Majority of Pennsylvania, besides the Philadelphia vicinity, is below freezing. But the thing is that majority of that area is also only going to be able to get snow showers, if in any case snow showers, from that 500 millibar low, kicking off potential snow squalls or snow showers across the area. So if we look at the mountainous areas of New Jersey, 36 is saying the HRRR. We go down to the coastal plain, widespread 42, 43 all across. That would not be supportive snow. The ARW, which was the most optimistic as per snow, saying widespread mid-30s to low 30s. That's why it was saying that snow so widespread. NAM 3 kilometer is also saying the same thing. 36 in the mountainous areas in northern Jersey, and then widespread 40, 41, 42 in the coastal plain, which I think that might actually be a valid situation that could set up that colder air just in the mountainous areas further north, and the coastal plain is going to be too warm. So it doesn't really look like it's going to snow down the coastal plain, but the main area where it could potentially snow if there is precipitation is, I would say, this area over here. That has the best shot of seeing snow, especially the Poconos. If there is precipitation, they have the best shot of seeing snow from this low pressure. Otherwise, the rest of the interior northeast is going to be cold enough to see snow from that 500 millibar low pressure or lake effect. Just some light snow showers. All right, moving on to the RAP model. I like to use it as a very good analysis of what could happen, because it's not really a high resolution convection allowing model, and it gives a very good overview of the potential environment. So we look at today, everything's moving out, and then we look at that low pressure moving in. The main low pressure is over here. There's some energy being kicked off over here. There could even be some other showers that are there. And the RAP is saying mainly it's going to stay off the coast, but there could be, again, some of these like snow squalls being kicked off by the 500 millibar low in the early morning hours. But by afternoon, this any precipitation from that coastal low should be gone, and it'll just be any precipitation from that 500 millibar low. And it's probably going to be too warm during that time across Jersey for any precipitation. So the snow would probably be confined to the interior northeast areas. So let's just verify real quick by looking at the temperatures. And yeah, so that's what it's going to say. Basically, interior in the 30s, towards the coast, towards the southern areas, 40s, upper 40s. So yeah, it would not be cold enough for any potential snow during that time. So let's just wrap it up with looking at the HREF, the ensemble of convection allowing models from the SPC. I like to use it because it's a very good like average of what the convection allowing models are saying. Because I guess that's pretty much what it's designed to be. So today, again, this is today's 8 a.m. run. The snow in Maine, and that moves out, and here comes the low pressure across the Great Lakes, and then watch the coastal low. Watch how the energy gets transferred from this low pressure to the coastal low pressure. Look at how that one fizzles out while the coastal low pressure starts to grow. So this is basically saying rain confined to the coast, which is also the National Weather Service's thinking at this time. Rain is going to be confined to the coast, not much inland. But if you look later at the at 7 and 8 a.m. in the morning, saying potential for some snow in the ensemble mean across central Jersey, even into the Philadelphia vicinity. So again, really what I think is that my thinking right now is that the best chance for snow from this coastal low pressure is going to be basically Somerset County, Hunterdon County, Warren County, Sussex County, Morris County, and all the other counties in northern Jersey that are not close to New York have that mountainous terrain. into the Poconos, into southern New York counties from just that coastal low. Most likely, the precipitation is going to be in the New Jersey area. But again, if the precipitation does expand, all these areas will have potential for snow in the morning hours. And the rest of the interior Northeast will have the potential for snow from snow squalls, from that 500 millibar low kicking off some energy, and from lake effect snow showers, which are definitely going to be possible. If we look off Lake Superior, or not, yeah, I believe that, no, that is not Lake Superior. I'm confusing my Great Lakes. I got to look that up real quick. Yeah, so basically, this area of New Jersey is going to be the main area where it could snow. Poconos in Pennsylvania, southern New York counties, and anywhere in the interior Northeast too. Yeah, Lake Huron. Okay, yeah. So that's the lake. Lake Superior, Lake Huron. Yeah, so basically off of Lake Huron, the models have actually been outputting some pretty high snowfall totals in Ontario. But that's kind of out of our scope. We're only looking at the coastal Northeast really in this video mainly. So yeah, right now there is a solid amount of uncertainty because this low pressure is going to be interacting with that tropical low pressure and the 500 millibar low pressure that's coming down across the Great Lakes. So as of now, there's still a solid amount of uncertainty regarding this. Tomorrow we'll probably have a better understanding of this, but definitely a spooky forecast for Halloween night. And just to clarify, there's probably not going to be any snowfall accumulation since this is very early into the season, November 1st. The ground temperatures are still very warm. No snowfall. Even if it snows an inch, it's probably not going to accumulate. Even if it does, it'll melt really, really fast. At least in these areas. In other areas, especially mountainous areas, the interior Northeast, snow could accumulate. But really, there shouldn't be any accumulations. I'm just talking about flakes out of the sky, really. Just wishful thinking, I guess. But let's see what happens. There definitely is a genuine chance for snowfall in the coastal areas in the Northeast, especially the mountainous terrain, northern Jersey, Poconos, southern New York, from this coastal low pressure if it does get close enough for precipitation to occur. Thank you for watching this video, and please leave any questions in the comments if you have them. I'll definitely be posting an update if it does end up snowing where I am on Wednesday morning.